In today's fast-evolving digital economy, banks are under mounting pressure to transform how they operate. Customer expectations have shifted dramatically. They now demand always-on support, personalized services, seamless onboarding, and proactive insights. At the same time, regulatory demands and market competition are intensifying. To thrive, banks must innovate boldly, and one of the most disruptive technologies on the table is generative AI. Generative AI refers to artificial intelligence models that can generate text, code, images, or even data based on a given input. In the context of retail banking, generative AI unlocks unprecedented opportunities across customer service, internal operations, compliance, risk, and marketing. But to harness its full power, banks must address both technical and organizational hurdles. Let's begin by exploring some of the most promising and practical use cases. Imagine a bank deploying an AI-powered assistants that operate 24/7. These aren't just chatbots that respond with canned answers. They can interpret complex queries, retrieve context-specific data from internal systems, summarize documents, and offer personalized responses with a human tone. Whether it's explaining loan eligibility, navigating transaction disputes, or scheduling consultations, generative AI reshapes the customer service experience. In the back office, generative AI tools summarize lengthy reports, generate risk narratives, and support analysts with intelligent first drafts. Marketing teams use AI to produce tailored email campaigns or landing pages. Compliance officers use it to interpret new regulatory texts and flag non-compliant language in internal policies. Banks also apply generative AI to enhance internal tools, streamlining document creation, enabling voice-to-text, summarization for client meetings, or auto-completing standard templates used in underwriting and legal reviews. Beyond these, banks have started leveraging generative AI in innovative ways. This economic potential comes from improved productivity, automation of cognitive tasks, and the creation of new revenue streams. Generative AI can also be applied on the following use cases. 1. Automated fraud investigation. AI reviews and generates summaries of fraud cases, suggesting likely causes and preventive actions. 2. Code generation for internal tools. Developers use generative AI to write scripts or automate report generation. These may include a generative AI-based customer support chatbot, a content generator for the marketing department, or a risk report summarization tool. Banks often adopt a hybrid infrastructure to host and serve generative AI models. They rely on secure APIs to interface with large language models such as GPT-4, Claude, or open-source alternatives like Llama and Mistral. Fine-tuned models or adapters may be trained using curated enterprise data. Human-in-the-loop mechanisms are often used for oversight. To preserve data privacy and reduce latency, many institutions fine-tune smaller models on internal infrastructure or deploy retrieval-augmented generation, which grounds model responses in up-to-date enterprise knowledge. This means AI models must be explainable, auditable, and ethically aligned. Model cards and documentation become essential, describing intended use, limitations, training data, and risk controls. These pilots help validate return on investment and expose key integration and governance challenges before scaling up. Internally, banks must foster responsible experimentation while maintaining oversight. Banks often need to censor sensitive data, anonymize customer inputs, and avoid storing any personally identifiable information in third-party LLM systems. Generative AI can also be explored in financial coaching, providing personalized financial advice and budgeting recommendations delivered via generative AI-powered apps. There's a skills gap to address, including training in prompt engineering, model monitoring, and AI risk management. Generative AI risk management is paramount, since the AI may hallucinate, misinterpret context, or reflect biased training data. That's why high-stakes applications like lending, fraud detection, or regulatory reporting demand rigorous oversight, bias testing, and continuous monitoring. A central generative AI gateway governs how business units interact with models. Generative AI is not just a tool, it's a new capability that cuts across the entire enterprise. But it must be designed responsibly, governed wisely, and deployed with care. Prompt libraries are versioned and shared. Internal datasets are indexed for RAG, and a trusted pipeline handles everything from fine-tuning to monitoring drift. New roles like generative AI architects and AI product owners are emerging. Onboarding assistance is another use case for generative AI in banking, where GenAI will streamline new customer and employee onboarding with AI-generated guidance and documentation. According to McKinsey, the banking sector could gain between $200 billion and $340 billion annually from GenAI adoption. GenAI's effectiveness hinges on access to clean, contextual, and compliant data. This means integrating with knowledge graphs, data lakes, CRM systems, document repositories, and transaction histories, all while enforcing access controls. But how do banks begin this journey? Implementation typically starts with a few focused pilot projects. For an example, the marketing team can pilot how generative AI can help them reduce campaign turnaround time from weeks to hours. Another pilot could be for the compliance teams. They can explore how GenAI model can scan thousands of pages of regulation and extract policy actions in minutes. These aren't hypothetical examples. They are real outcomes from banks piloting this technology today. As momentum builds, banks move toward department-wide adoption and eventually enterprise-wide GenAI platforms integrated with core systems. This requires thoughtful architectural planning and infrastructure investment. From a technical design perspective, generative AI introduces new architecture patterns. Data remains central. To enable this, teams typically establish AI development environments with MLOps pipelines, prompt management systems, model testing suites, and sandbox environments. But even as the technical pieces come together, the organizational and policy landscape can make or break success. First, governance is critical. Banks must adhere to strict regulatory standards such as GDPR, Basel III, POPIA, and the upcoming EU AI Act. Data security and privacy must be baked into the design from the start. Change management also plays a major role. Business units must be engaged early, and employees need support adapting to an AI-augmented workflows. Culturally, banks must build trust. This includes transparent communication with customers on how AI is used, as well as clear escalation paths to human agents. Let's not forget ethical and reputational risks. GenAI can inadvertently produce biased or misleading outputs. The most forward-thinking banks take a cross-functional approach, combining technical innovation with legal, compliance, risk, and business leadership. They build governance frameworks that support safe scaling, design reference architectures that are modular and secure, and put in place performance metrics tied to business goals. So, what does a successful GenAI implementation look like? It starts small, but strategic. For example, a generative AI assistant could handle 30% of incoming support tickets, with an initial accuracy rate of 90%. And over time, the organization moves from pilot to platform. This is an example of how a GenAI project can be approached. Looking ahead, the future of banking will be intelligent, conversational, and deeply personalized. Banks that start today, invest in both infrastructure and people, and commit to ethical AI will be best positioned to lead in the next era of financial services. The journey is complex, but the opportunity is immense. Thanks for watching. If you are looking to go deeper, download our GenAI and Banking Executive paper below and subscribe for more transformation insights. See you on the next one.